The movie kicks off on the streets of Los Angeles in 2030. 4 years earlier, in 2026, during the height of the Great Depression, the California Grand Lottery was introduced. Desperate for a financial lifeline, both the new government and the public supported its creation. The catch? The winner could be killed before sundown and their jackpot legally claimed, but no firearms allowed. In 2030, Stiefler is on the run, with an angry crowd hot on his heels. Everyone's eager to get their hands on his jackpot, and some even ditch their 350Zs in the middle of the street to chase him down on foot instead of just running him over. Stiefler holds his ground, taking down a few of his pursuers. He then leaps from a parking garage, landing in the backyard of a lunchtime lady.
Lunchtime.
They dive into the action together, and Stiefler barely manages to fight off the attackers.
Eat this.
Afterward, he breaks into a house through a window, finding a grandmother inside. He checks that she doesn't know who he is,
You know who I am.
then snatches her phone and destroys it without hesitation. As Stiefler catches his breath, the grandmother spots a drone hovering outside, broadcasting his location to everyone nearby. While he's distracted, she quietly grabs a No Country for Old Men gun and pierces his head with it.
Hold still.
Turns out, she does know exactly who he is.
But I do know who you are.
She rips up her lottery ticket, signaling the kill. Within moments, the lottery squad bursts in to verify the claim. The grandmother's prize is confirmed, a massive check for $22 million. She ends up on TV, a new lottery millionaire. Sometime later, Katie's riding a bus, her eyes fixated on a small Oscar keychain, a memento she clearly treasures. She overhears a man complaining about his daughter, ranting that she blew an audition for some ad. He's harsh, using cruel words about how disappointed he is in her. The girl, visibly crushed by her father's words, sits quietly. Katie can't stand it. She walks up to the man, pretending to be a cop, and threatens to take him to child services if he doesn't change his attitude. Her words do the trick. The man immediately softens and adjusts his tone.
Sorry for all the bad words. I only curse when your mom's being a
An elderly woman chimes in, pointing out that Katie's a bit too young to be a cop. The girl then confirms she's actually an actress. The two share a heart-to-heart, and Katie opens up, admitting she came to LA to relaunch her acting career. The lady wishes her the best of luck.
Your legs fall off? Isn't that what actors say?
Yeah, that's exactly what they say.
And gets off the bus. But as Katie looks down, she realizes her watch is missing.
Oh, the golden girl stole my watch!
Frustrated, she notices an ad on a nearby billboard for Louis Protection Agency, specializing in keeping lottery winners safe. What catches her off guard, though, is that she has no clue what the California Deadly Lottery even is. During the ride, Katie can't help but notice how tense and aggressive everyone on the street seems. It's like the whole city is on edge.
What's going on? Is there an evacuation or something?
Lottery day tomorrow.
Lottery day? What does that mean?
Lottery day.
Meanwhile, the media can't stop hyping up the upcoming lottery drawing, just 18 hours away. Ticket sales have hit new records, and the jackpot is a mind-blowing $3.6 billion. Over at his place, Noel's prepping his weapons while singing the Turtle Power song. I'm a big fan of Ninja Turtles myself, by the way. Turns out, he's a security guard for lottery winners. Back on her own journey, Katie finally arrives at the room she rented online. But it doesn't take long for her to realize her Airbnb host, Shadi, totally misrepresented the place. It's a dump.
Looks a little different from the Airbnb photos.
Yeah, I think the lighting's different.
Oh, the entire room is different.
Oh yeah, no, it was a different house because we use fake photos. Because like, who's gonna stay here if we don't?
Shadi herself is equally annoying. There are pictures of her all over the room. She cracks cringy jokes, and she ignores her mom's well-meaning calls.
Yeah, it's my mom. Bye. She calls me all the time. I haven't answered in 2 years. She just calls and calls and calls, and she's like, Shadi, I love you. I miss you.
That's sweet.
Oh,
My mom's dead.
lucky.
Shadi also has an obnoxious boyfriend named DJ, and the two of them can't stop talking about how huge the lottery prize is this month. DJ slaps Katie in the face to test her fighting skills.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
What the f was that?
I thought you were gonna dodge it.
Why?
Look at your bag. It says you go to fighting school. Okay, what the f is stage fighting?
It's fake fighting for movies.
Wait, they fake fight in movies?
The next morning, Katie wakes up to the leaking from the upstairs toilet and quickly realizes her clothes are soaked and ruined. She calls Shadi to complain, especially since she has an audition in just a few hours. Shadi's idea of help, renting her clothes for an extra $40. With no other option, Katie has to dip into her savings for a hideous outfit and take a cab because she's already running late. During the ride, the cab driver won't stop making awkward comments and talking about celebrity gossip. She proudly mentions she used to work with a ton of celebs back when she did construction, even claiming she installed Machine Gun Kelly's panic room.
What does Machine Gun Kelly have to panic about? Running out of skin to tattoo?
When Katie finally makes it to the audition, the secretary hits her with a $400 fee to participate. After handing over the money, her audition begins. She explains she was in a bunch of TV ads as a kid, but had to put her career on hold to take care of her sick mom in Michigan.
Are you the kid from the Spaghetti Squares commercials?
Yeah, who cares? It's spaghetti squares.
After her mom passed, Katie decided to give acting another shot. As she's speaking, she reflexively reaches into her pockets for her monologue notes, but instead she pulls out Shadi's lottery ticket. In the chaos, she accidentally activates it by pressing her thumb onto the fingerprint scanner. The system registers her as a player, snapping her picture. Panicked, she quickly stuffs the ticket back in her pocket and tries to get back to the audition. But things take a strange turn when the men ask her to do weird things, like touching her toes while delivering her lines or jiggling during her dramatic speech. Frustrated, Katie demands her money back, but they just toss her out. In the corridor, Katie wishes another actress good luck, casually saying,
Break a leg.
You break a leg, bitch. Break your entire body.
Thank you.
Suddenly, all their lottery tickets activate, announcing that Katie is the winner, and even flashing her face on screens. The actress's attitudes change in an instant, and they surround her. Katie has no idea what's going on.
I definitely didn't get the part, so there's no need for the death stare.
Before she can process it, they start attacking her with anything they can grab.
Ladies, break a leg means good luck in the theater. Calm down.
She narrowly dodges each strike, still clueless about why they're coming after her. Even the workers get involved, jumping into the chaos.
Jesus, Hollywood's gotten extremely competitive.
On the next floor, Katie manages to duck into a room, escaping the actresses as they run off. But when she looks around, she realizes she stumbled into a karate class. And these people aren't here for a friendly spar. They immediately target her, tossing her around like a rag doll, calling her my jackpot. Worse, they're not just after her, they're fighting each other too, all trying to get the kill for themselves.
Oh my God, that's our student!
Desperate, Katie tries to ask what's going on, but they don't even acknowledge her, too consumed by the competition to listen. The coach hurls Katie through a wall, sending her crashing into a yoga class. And of course, more people are ready to kill her. The Karate Kids follow right behind, and a massive brawl erupts. Katie's thrown into the chaos, but eventually the karate coach overpowers everyone, pinning Katie and choking her out. Just as it seems like it's game over, Noel bursts through the ceiling, slamming the coach into the wall and saving her. He quickly offers her a deal, 10% of the jackpot in exchange for protecting her. He hands her his smartphone to sign the contract, all while explaining the situation. With no other options, Katie reluctantly agrees.
Okay.
From that moment on, Noel goes into full-on warrior mode, taking on anyone in his way. He uses everything as a weapon, even Katie. It's like watching John Wick in action. Noel's nearly unstoppable, calculating every move and predicting every attack before it happens. Once all the opponents are down, Katie quietly grabs Noel's paralysis dart gun, not trusting anyone anymore.
And what am I threatening you with?
Oh, that shoots enzyme protein peptide bioactive constituent rounds that cause temporary paralysis.
But Noel easily snatches it back from her. Afterward, he carefully arranges the unconscious bodies, making sure none of them will choke on their tongues. He explains that the lottery drone, which is already hovering outside, broadcasts the winner's location every 14 minutes, so they can't afford to waste any time. As they rush out of the building, Noel explains that the rules of the lottery don't allow the players to kill each other.
Fans can't kill anyone else for your money, just you. Also, your fans cannot use lethal ballistics. That means no guns.
Hold on. Fans? I don't have any fans. Hey! It's Katie Kim!
Just as they're about to make their escape, someone at a nearby food truck throws a knife at Katie. Noel reacts quickly, helping her dodge it before they both jump into his car and speed off.
Hey, you really don't know what's going on?
I know you're some sort of kung fu bodybuilder that cares about the tongues of people he beats up.
As they drive through town, nearby people start getting alerts about her location, and the hunt begins. The ice cream truck abandons its kids.
Oh, wow, that nice girl from the bus. Good for her.
Even the old lady from the bus is now armed with a No Country for Old Men gun. Meanwhile, Noel finishes explaining how the lottery works. Katie just has to survive until sundown. But before then, anyone with a losing ticket can legally try to kill her for the prize. Before long, their car is being chased by a gang on motorbikes and ATVs. Noel quickly grabs helmets for both of them and speeds up, trying to outrun them. The gang throws Molotov cocktails and one of them hits the car, setting it on fire.
Oh, they use clean tequila. I never got the tequila craze. I'm more of a gin guy. You ever tried darting stalls?
But Noel doesn't stop. He floors it, driving into an old warehouse where the wind helps put out the flames. Inside, he skillfully maneuvers through the building, dodging Katie's fans who are still after her. Katie, breathless and desperate, asks how to cancel her participation in the lottery. Noel's answer is blunt. The only way out is to leave the city. But he points out that no one ever really wants to quit the lottery. They're all in it for the money. Eventually, they find a quiet spot to catch their breath.
Get me out out of the game!
You really mean that?
How can someone whose face looks so much like a giant ear not hear what I'm saying?
Noel, however, tries to persuade Katie not to quit the lottery. He's in this for his share after all. But in the end, he knows the client's desire is the law. With a reluctant sigh, he agrees to help her get out of the city. By the way, John Cena looks like Ralph on this frame.
You know what you're doing right now?
No.
The bikers track them down, and the chase picks up again. Noel does everything he can to protect Katie, shielding her from not only the crazed fans, but also from the random obstacles they encounter along the way. In the chaos, one fan manages to leap into the car through the back window. Katie reacts fast, knocking the knife out of the fan's hand. Noel grabs the rearview mirror and uses it to hit the fan, then quickly tells Katie to drive. She protests, claiming she can't drive, but Noel doesn't listen. He moves to the back seat to keep fighting off the attackers. As he secures a helmet on her head with care, he kicks the fan out of the car at full speed.
What the hell was that?
You think I'm gonna kick somebody out of a moving car without a helmet?
The bikers, relentless, throw another Molotov cocktail at them, but Noel takes control, urging Katie to drive straight through a wall to escape.
Don't slow down.
It's a dead end.
I've seen deader.
The car crashes through, and the bikers, caught off guard, slam into the car trying to dodge the wreckage. Katie grabs her helmet and knocks out the last biker with a solid swing. The duo tries to drive away, but the car barely moves before it breaks down from all the damage. Katie tries to run away, but Noel stops her. She fights back, using her acting fight moves, not believing that he actually wants to help. Noel tells her he's just trying to treat people the way he'd want to be treated. In the heat of the moment, Katie throws sand in his face and punches him, breaking his nose. Noel's impressed by her punch and even gives her a compliment.
I can smell my own face. Good job.
He calmly pops his nose back into place. Just then, a police car pulls up and Katie runs to the officers, hoping for help.
Finally, some real help is here.
They're gonna try to kill you, Katie.
But as Noel predicted, the cops are just as ready to kill her. He manages to catch their taser just in time and starts fighting them off while Katie makes a break for it. Out on the street, Katie notices the Pinky Poo Poo mascot staring right at her.
Pinky Poo Poo!
She quickly hides her face behind a map, but her lottery ticket buzzes with a message. It's a location update in video from the DJI Inspire lottery drone, which, by the way, is the best drone. The people on the street notice the drone's signal and realize she's nearby. Panicked, Katie rushes into a wax museum, but the guard stops her.
Sorry, we're closed for renovations till next week.
However, he recognizes her, not just from the lottery, but from her childhood career in TV ads.
And I also love spaghetti squares.
He reassures her she's safe here, explaining he has a daughter her age and finds the lottery immoral. She hides in the museum where she stumbles upon a strange wax figure of J-Lo.
Is that supposed to be J-Lo? Looks like a statue of a woman asking to see the manager.
Then Katie receives a call from Shadi. The annoying girl pretends to empathize with her, but in reality, she's already on the same street searching for Katie. Katie asks if she can borrow Shadi's car. In return, Shadi asks for her address, lying that she's at home. While Katie hesitates, she hears Pinky Poo in the background and suddenly realizes that Shadi is hunting for her too. At that moment, a wax figure in the museum welcomes her, giving away Katie's location. Afterwards, Shadi and DJ try to enter the museum.
Sorry, we're closed for renovations.
But the guard stops them.
Oh, you two are banned.
Reminding them they're banned for having done dirty stuff with a Tin Man figure.
I thought we were f***ing RoboCop.
In response, Shadi knocks the guard out cold, and the couple rushes inside. Katie hears the commotion and hides behind a statue, but when she tries to sneak out, she's spotted. DJ immediately shoves her onto a desk, and Katie quickly throws a bottle at Shadi's head before tossing sand in DJ's face to get him off her. The couple starts beating her up, but Katie defends herself with the statue's staff. When she sees an opening, she tries to run, but Shadi kicks her back. In the next room, Shadi and DJ start attacking Katie with the broken halves of the staff. Katie fights back by hurling statues at them, thinking she's throwing Cher.
You're the Kardashians, you idiot! What? Really?
The fight spills into the horror room, where they grab any prop they can find to use as weapons. Katie uses Jackie Chan-style moves to protect herself from a knife attack. She runs out of the room just as Shadi throws an axe at her. The axe hits, but it's fake, doing small damage. Katie quickly presses a button to bring down the museum shutter, but then remembers what Noel taught her. She goes back to the guard's body and carefully arranges him so he won't choke on his tongue.
Now I'm the weirdo that cares about strangers' tongues.
Then with a burst of speed, she rolls out of the museum just before the shutter slams down, leaving Shadi and DJ trapped inside.
We can't get her from in here, Katie!
Right, you cheated!
A tour bus guide immediately spots Katie and announces her location over the microphone. Before the fans can reach her, Noel makes a dramatic entrance, pulling up in a police car and swooping her away. The fans, undeterred, quickly board the bus and begin the pursuit.
No shoving.
9/11. Safety first when you're trying to kill somebody.
Despite the rescue, Katie still doesn't trust Noel. She figures that if he helps her quit, he won't get paid, and she believes he'll just kill her in private.
Have you ever considered the possibility that I actually might be a nice person?
Sure, a nice person who like loves and wants a super yacht.
I want a super yacht.
You so want a super yacht.
I don't want a super yacht.
You do.
I don't.
Super yacht.
As the tour bus keeps hitting the back of the car, Noel wishes they had a bomb shelter or something. Katie then remembers the taxi driver who had been talking about installing Machine Gun Kelly's panic bunker. Soon the duo arrives at Machine Gun Kelly's house, but when they ask to be let in, he assumes they want something inappropriate.
No, and you would turn my asshole into the Eye of Sauron.
Just then, the tour bus appears, and Katie quickly grabs Noel's dart gun, forcing MGK to open the panic room. They rush inside, but Noel points out that MGK knows the code to the panic room and will likely tell the fans, so instead of taking him with them, Katie tranquilizes him.
You know, I'm more of a white wine guy, but this feels pretty good.
Leaving the rapper behind. One fan, however, manages to slip his hand through the door. Noel reaches for the dart gun to take care of him, but Katie mistakenly thinks he's aiming at her. In a panic, she grabs the dart gun from him, shoots the fan in the arm, closes the door, and points the gun at Noel, accusing him of trying to kill her. The accusation hits Noel hard, but he doesn't argue. Instead, he tries to lighten the mood, cracking a joke about the Machine Gun Kelly's panic room.
So Machine Gun Kelly has a panic room. What's that guy panic about? Running out of skin to tattoo?
Katie, surprised, realizes he shares her sense of humor. Noel reassures her that they're safe here, and there's nothing to fear.
Can you stop reassuring me? I'm allowed to panic in a panic room.
Still wary, Katie keeps the gun aimed at him, so he sits beside her, trying to prove he's not a threat. He shares some lighthearted facts about himself, hoping to show he's a good guy. Suddenly, the keychain falls from Katie's pocket. When Noel comments that it looks cool, Katie decides to open up. She shares that she chose to become an actress for her mom, who loved movies and movie stars. Her mother, knowing how tough Hollywood could be, gave her the keychain as a reminder that she would be proud of her no matter what. Katie explains that when she was younger, she made good money as a child actor, but her dad ran off with it all. Now she's afraid that Noel might try to kill her for the money.
I don't deserve this negativity, you know, but I always put up with it. That's what my therapist keeps trying to get me to recognize.
Feeling a bit sorry for him, Katie hands the dart gun back to Noel. He takes it but lightens the mood by giving her a motivational speech about the Ninja Turtles.
Once there were 4 baby turtles. They were thrown into a sewer and covered in radioactive ooze. And what did they do? Did they spend their whole lives not trusting people? No. They spent their lives protecting New Yorkers and eating pizza. You gotta find your inner turtle power.
Can I be Michelangelo?
No, I'm always Michelangelo.
Katie asks Noel why he would help her quit, and he explains his priorities. First, saving people's lives, and second, making enough money to keep saving people's lives. Outside, the crowd continues to slam into the panic room door, but it holds firm. Meanwhile, Shotty slaps Machine Gun Kelly to wake him up. But when that doesn't work, she drags him to the pool and, with surprising strength, hurls him into the water like a WWE wrestler.
What the fuck is she doing?
When Kelly finally regains consciousness, Shotty wastes no time in demanding that he give her the code to the panic room. Katie and Noel watch the scene unfold. Noel gets angry because he realizes he has no choice but to make a call and ask for a favor. He orders something called a phone strike and quickly rushes to put Katie's phone inside a safe. The duo braces the door as Shotty enters the password. Just as the door starts to crack open, the crowd freezes in place when all their phones suddenly begin ringing with an Amber Alert. But this turns out to be a trap. The phones start exploding one by one, causing horrific burns and chaos as people scramble to deal with the flames. Taking advantage of the chaos, Katie and Noel make their escape. However, Noel pauses for a moment to put out the flames on someone's groin before continuing to flee with Katie. Outside, a group of guards is waiting with damage-proof cars and rubber bullet guns. They only want to take Katie, but she insists that they bring Noel along as well. During the ride, Katie asks if Noel works with these people. He explains that he used to, but now he's a freelancer. Moments later, they arrive at headquarters where Katie meets Lewis and learns that this is his security company. She's not impressed with him, especially since he keeps mocking Noel and dismissing his help in saving her.
I mean, most people don't last 15 minutes without representation. You've already made it several hours, pretty much completely alone. That makes me so proud to say as an Asian man.
Well, I wasn't alone.
Of course not. You had all of our ancestors looking out for you.
No, I was with him.
Oh, no, you meant Noel.
Katie asks to be taken out of the city, but Lewis hands her a new phone, an iPhone 15, which in 2030 is already 6 years old. He also tries to convince her to stay in the game by pointing out that she's in the safest building in the country. With only 4 game hours left, Louis gives them a tour of the headquarters, showing them the wall with the names of all the winners they've saved. A few recent winners have names listed as anonymous. Louis explains that some winners chose to risk their lives and keep the commission, rather than let the agency save them. They charge a 30% fee for their services.
What percentage does Noel get?
Sorry, Noel?
Yeah, he saved me way before you guys entered the picture.
Before signing the contract, Katie bargains for 30% of their profit to go to Noel. Even Noel is flattered by the offer. Katie points out Lewis's neat outfit.
We're all here to kick butt on your behalf.
Really? Because you look more ready to challenge Celine Dion to a sing-off.
And to demonstrate his tough character, Lewis proudly shows off his best weapon, slimline grenades. Afterward, they see on the security cameras that the fans are gathering outside.
You might want to use a different word than fans.
Lewis decides that it'll be safer to move Katie to a hidden underground fortress using decoy vehicles. They also plan to change her appearance to avoid detection. While they're alone, Noel thanks Lewis for helping them and expresses hope that their past is water under the bridge. Lewis replies that he doesn't hold a grudge against him.
Fix yourself up a little bit. You look like Wreck-It Ralph after a 14-hour cocaine bender. Jeez.
The duo receives medical care for their wounds, and while they recover, Noel shares more about himself. Katie asks what he spends the money from saving lottery winners on, and Noel opens up. He used to be a mercenary in the private sector alongside Lewis, and their unit was sent all over the world to take down dangerous people. One day, Noel realized that not all of his victims were bad guys, and that moment led him to quit in the middle of a mission. He tried to convince Lewis to leave as well, but Lewis didn't listen. Without Noel there, the mission went wrong, and their entire unit was wiped out. Lewis was the only survivor. Now Noel uses the money he makes to support the families of both his victims and his fallen teammates. In return, Katie shares her own story. She reveals that her dad used to be her manager and made her work all day long from the time she was 8. When she turned 18, she told him she wanted to manage her own money.
And he said, "Okay, sweetheart, I'll take care of you. Trust me."
The next morning, he was gone, taking all her money with him. Katie had to care for her sick mother, who passed away a month ago, leaving Katie with only $600 and a bus ticket to LA.
My own father didn't hesitate for a second to choose money over me and my mom, so how was I supposed to trust you? But I do trust you. No.
An employee brings in a prosthetics machine, and Katie puts her face inside. The machine applies a mask that makes her look like an old man. However, Noel is concerned. Moving Katie out of this relatively safe place doesn't make sense. The facility is too expensive to maintain with only 30% of the old prizes, especially if they haven't had many clients lately.
So you think it's a setup?
I don't know. What don't you know, Noel?
Why I just farted.
It's probably the muscle relaxants. Nothing loosens the sphincter faster. And since I know what Noel usually eats, I'd say it's best we get the hell out of here ASAP.
After Katie changes into her disguise, Noel finally realizes that Lewis is only pretending to protect the winners, when in fact he's been secretly killing them. This explains why more than half the players who claimed their jackpots this year requested anonymity. It's Lewis killed all of them.
Katie, we're in a honey trap.
Oh, shit.
What?
Noel sharded.
No, buddy, would you squeeze your asshole shut and hold it in like a fucking man?
Lewis takes Katie to a car, but Katie insists that Noel come with her, a request Lewis turns down. He promises to protect her, using the same phrase her father said before stealing her money.
I'll take care of you, sweetheart. Trust me.
Eventually, Katie kicks Lewis in the groin, and Noel uses the distraction to open the garage door, letting the fans rush in. He shoots all the guards with his darts as the crowd floods the area, but they don't recognize Katie and ignore her. Noel quickly gives her a key card he stole from a guard and tells her to run while he buys some time. As more guards swarm the scene, they restrain Noel while Lewis tries to beat the information out of him. Meanwhile, Katie sneaks into one of the decoy cars, which is set to autopilot. The AI-driven decoy cars takes off, and that's when it hits Lewis. Katie's in one of them. He quickly sends his people after her. Katie crawls out of the trunk and quickly pulls off the mask. It's way too hot. Taking control of the car, she swerves off the planned route and speeds out of the city. Lewis' team immediately detects it and sets on pursuit. Meanwhile, Bobby Lee announces on his stream that the drone has lost track of Katie, so if she doesn't make any mistake, she'll be safe until the end. The fans erupt in cheers, raising their drinks to toast their new hero, Katie Kim. Just as Katie is about to leave town, she gets a call from Lewis. He orders her to turn around or he'll kill Noel. Noel tells her not to worry about him and insists she needs to get out of the city. Meanwhile, Lewis stabs Noel multiple times with a lottery gun, threatening to finish him off. Despite Noel's constant pleas for her to leave, Katie can't bring herself to keep going. Reluctantly, she turns the car around. Lewis then sends her the location where she needs to go. Lewis takes Noel to an old theater, where he begins to explain his twisted view of the world. According to him, money is all that matters, and Katie isn't even a person. She's just a walking ATM. Lewis then reveals a dark truth. During the mission that Noel bailed on, Lewis robbed and killed an entire family for their gold. And even worse, Lewis killed all his own men afterward because he didn't want to share any of the spoils. Noel realizes he's been blaming himself all these years for things that were never his fault.
You killed our team for gold?
Yeah, I did know.
As Lewis' men rush toward the theater, Katie, with only 15 minutes left on the clock, grabs a bolt gun from the glove compartment
and SpongeBob gun
and rushes inside. She finds Lewis and Noel on the stage, and without hesitation, she threatens to commit unthinkable so that nobody gets the money. Lewis, unconvinced, laughs it off.
For this guy?
Until Katie points out that he's going to kill her anyway.
So the only choice that I have left is whether or not I want you to be rich because of it.
No, go ahead, pop your own skull. I'll just wipe your prints off the bolt gun and tell him I did it.
She then reveals that she's streaming everything live on social media.
Oh, you're crazy, Katie Kim.
Katie starts venting about the miserable state of her life. No friends, no family, and how Noel is the only one who actually cares about her. She's on the verge of pulling the trigger, but just as she's about to, Lewis drops the handcuff keys to Noel and offers her a deal. Katie pretends she's about to hand over the gun, but in a sudden move, she Sparta kicks him off the stage. She confirms that she's been acting.
Bravo! Daniel Day-Lewis wishes he had your range.
With the stream still live, Katie's location is broadcast to all the fans, and they flood into the theater, chasing her down.
Honey, take the roast out of the oven. In 10 minutes, I gotta go kill this girl.
She grabs whatever she can to defend herself. In the chaos, Lewis grabs her leg, pulling her down and trying to kill her. Just then, a cop rushes in, attempting to claim the prey, but Lewis kicks him aside and keeps struggling with Katie. As the crowd bursts into the theater, Noel begins fighting to protect Katie, using the chair like a turtle shell while singing the Turtles' power song.
It's turtle time, motherfuckers.
Eventually, the chair breaks, giving Noel more freedom to fight back. Katie bites Lewis to break free, then throws the keys to Noel. He finally frees himself and jumps into the fight, taking on Lewis. Just as things heat up, Shadi enters with a katana, ready to fight Katie. But Katie disarms her and knocks her out with a quick headbutt. With only 4 minutes left, more fans rush into the theater. While Noel and Lewis are still fighting, Katie climbs up the stage decorations to stay out of the chaos. Lewis grabs an axe from another player, but Noel defends himself with cymbals. After a tough fight, Noel finally defeats Lewis. As the bus lady tries to climb up after Katie...
Hi, Miss Kim. Good to see you again. What? Your watch keeps terrible time.
She kicks her off, sending her tumbling down. Meanwhile, Noel starts destroying the stage decorations to stop people from following Katie. Lewis' men finally show up. Half of them form a human ladder to help Lewis climb, while the others tackle Noel to the ground. Lewis reaches Katie on the scaffolding, and the two start fighting. Katie slips and ends up hanging on the edge. In a desperate move, she reveals she had used her keychain to pull the pin out of Lewis' grenade earlier. The grenade explodes, taking out Lewis. Lewis is killed in the blast and Katie falls. But just as she's about to hit the ground, her fans appear, holding up a massive flag, and catch her just in time. And now I can call them fans for real. With the countdown hitting 0, Katie pulls Noel into a hug, promising him 50%. The lottery people arrive, handing her the check, and Katie announces she doesn't want to be an actress anymore. 6 months later, Katie and Noel are running several charitable projects together, including a free protection agency, a self-defense and stage fighting school, and a center for kids from troubled homes. Noel opens a Ninja Turtles-themed pizzeria, but ends up getting slapped with a copyright infringement lawsuit. The duo also takes some time off for a vacation on their very own super yacht.
Grand Lottery is coming to your town with our biggest jackpot yet.